It feels hella weird being back and filming, but I've definitely missed it. Hi guys, welcome. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here then hi, hello, welcome. Before you continue watching, then subscribe down below and turn on your post notifications so you never miss when I post a lit video. It's been exactly 2 weeks and 1 day, so yes, my baby is here. He's born. If you've watched my last birthing labor vlog, you would know that he's here. You know, that vlog, I really wanted it to be so much more detailed. I wanted to vlog the arguments that I had with the midwives, the crying, the screaming, the threatening to walk out, the examinations. Like, I wanted to film everything, but when you're in that moment, especially me, my emotions were running high. I wasn't thinking like, hold up, like pause the argument, let me turn on my camera kind of thing. So after I finished giving birth, just looking back at the whole experience and how traumatic it was and how the worst experience that I've had and just how crazy it was, and the fact that I didn't get to get that all on camera, I was like, I need to 100% do a sit down for you guys and just explain everything that I went through during that week. And I'm gonna try and be as detailed as possible and not miss anything out, because what I went through is enough to make anybody just be like, I'm not having kids. And for me, it was, you know, I'd always said this is gonna be my last child, but then I also said like, never say never. But after that, and after feeling like I could have lost my life, after feeling like the baby could have lost his life, I'm just like, I cannot put myself through that again. I can't. Anyways, hope you've all been doing well. Thank you so much for the congratulations messages, the birthday messages. I am well, baby's well, everybody is well, Jaden and Enzo are well. Yeah, everybody is thriving. But yeah, let's just get straight into my traumatic birthing experience. Okay, so I was due to give birth on the 13th of August. That was my due date. As I've mentioned in a few videos down, I basically said that I felt like I was being neglected medically by the midwives, by the hospital, just everything. I felt like I was being neglected. I felt like nobody was checking up on me. It'd been months since I heard from anyone, hadn't had a scan, anything like that. And then when I did finally get to complain, you know, they said like they'd sent out loads of letters to my door to give me scans. I never showed up, which is a whole load of BS, because there's no letters that showed up. And if that was the case, you would have called me to be like, oh, like you didn't show. Instead, they just discharged me. So from then, I already knew this is not the hospital that I want to give birth at, because already I'm having so many issues, which I never had with the last hospital that I gave birth to 2 of my boys, which was Homerton Hospital. This baby, because we moved to Enfield, I went to give birth at North Middlesex Hospital. So that's the hospital that I am referring to when I'm talking about neglection, etc, etc. We'll get to that in a bit. Yeah, so I was like, I'm gonna transfer myself back to Homerton Hospital, because there's no way, like, if they're neglecting me this much whilst I'm pregnant, could you imagine how they're gonna neglect me whilst I'm giving birth, how they're gonna neglect my baby after birth? Like, I was just like, there's no way. And after reading reviews, I was literally like, no chance. It's literally like signing a death wish. I had done this too late and was told that the whole transfer procedure, it can take up to like 10 days, and keep in mind I was like a few days away from giving birth. So I was like, I have to go through with this hospital. I have to take whatever happens, whatever they throw at me, and just pray and hope for the best that nothing happens. Boy, was I wrong. I had been called in for an emergency scan the day before I was, no, 2 days before I was due to give birth. So I was due to give birth on the 13th, and they called me in on the 11th to come in at 7 PM for an emergency scan. They done an emergency scan and it was 7 PM. They kept me behind for like an hour. I didn't really understand what was going on. I kind of had a feeling that something was wrong. But they weren't saying anything. They just kept saying like, a doctor's gonna come out and review the scan with you, which had never happened to me before. For me, like, we do the scan and they say to me, yeah, like, he's fine, everything's fine, his heart is fine, etc, etc. When they didn't tell me nothing and just said I have to wait here, I started to panic. Finally, a doctor came and spoke to me, and doctor, nurse, I don't even know, and she was just basically like, the baby, he is growing at a very rapid rate, and he is bigger than the average size of a baby. They said that at the moment he's 9 pounds, and that is bigger than average. And they were scared that, obviously I had no signs of labor coming, I had no contractions, etc. They were like, say he is like overdue, he's gonna keep on growing, and that will be, it will basically be dangerous. It will be dangerous to you and it will be dangerous to the baby, because babies that are bigger than average, when you push them out, there's more complications during birth. For example, their shoulders getting stuck as you're pushing them out, and then yeah. I just started crying because I was just very confused. She basically just said to me, we need to book you in for an induction tomorrow morning. Keep in mind it was like 8:30 p.m. at this point. She said, like, tomorrow morning you need to be booked in for an induction. In my head I'm like, I've just been told that tomorrow morning I'm going into labour. I've been induced before with 2 of my boys and successful each time, literally went into labour. So for me, I was like, yeah, I'm giving birth tomorrow. I'm not prepared. I hadn't even packed my hospital bag, by the way. I wasn't mentally prepared. I needed to be mentally prepared. And also inductions, they're just apparently much more painful than normal birth. So I was just like, this is a nightmare. I was panicking because the fact that she said it's a risk when the baby's big, that scared me. So anyways, I went home, told Joe, we packed the hospital bag, got the whole house ready, disinfected it, hired a cleaner for the morning after super early, so that whilst we're at hospital, the cleaner would come in and just give it the once over again and disinfect. I was freaking the fuck out. The night before, I remember crying myself to sleep because I was like, I'm not prepared for what's gonna happen tomorrow. I was crying myself to sleep because I was scared of not only the pain of being induced, but I was hoping that my baby would be okay, because they told me that he was bigger than average. They made it seem like there was like this fat potato in my stomach and it would be too dangerous to deliver him. He had explained to me that if there were issues with delivering him vaginally, it would have to be an emergency C-section. She had given me the option and asked me, would I be considering a C-section? And I said, I want to try and push this baby out naturally. I've done it twice before with both of my kids, and my last kid, he was 9 pounds and I delivered him vaginally and there were no complications at birth, apart from the fact that he swallowed his own poo. But baby was fine after he was healthy, mum was healthy, like everything was good. So I was like, I can do this, I've done it 2 times before. I don't want to do a C-section. I'm scared of stuff like needles, operations. I've never had an operation in my life. Like, I was just like, I'm not, like, I cannot. And the fact that they don't even put you to sleep, they just numb you, I didn't trust it. I was like, there's no way that you're telling me you're gonna cut me open and I'm not gonna feel a thing. Like, it's not true. So I was like, no chance, like, I'm gonna deliver this baby. Next day comes, I've come in 9 o'clock in the morning. Luckily for me, my partner was able to come in from the very beginning, from literally the beginning of the induction until the very end. Like, he was never once sent home, which I was super happy about, because I had the impression that, I was under the impression that he wouldn't be there until I was like in active labor, then he'd have to go home soon after I give birth, blah, blah, blah. Wait, he did have to go home soon after I gave birth. But anyways, so I came in at 9. It took about 3 hours for someone to come and see me. They basically just explained to me what was gonna happen. They said to me, you know, you're gonna get induced. We're gonna put a tablet up in your cervix, and hopefully that should soften your cervix and blah, blah, blah. We're gonna keep examining you, see how dilated you are, etc, etc. I'm gonna cut to the chase and make this more quick. So they said that the tablet stays in for 24 hours. Kept that in. Super painful, by the way. Super, super painful. And I'm just saying that because I have a very, very low pain tolerance. So for me, just to get an examination done, like for someone to put their hand up my vagina, I have to use gas and air and I'm screaming as if I'm giving birth. Like, you would think I'm giving birth when really it's just an examination. So they must have been thinking, like, God, like, how is she gonna give birth? But it's horrible, guys. It's horrible, like having somebody's bloody hand up. Anyway, 24 hours went past, no contractions. I was like, this is going to be a very long labor. I can feel it. After 24 hours, they checked for me. They were like, literally nothing's changed. You're not dilated at all. The cervix is not softening. Yeah, this baby does not want to come out. They said we're going to put another tablet in for another 24 hours. I was just like, that's annoying, but okay. Also, the day was getting closer to my birthday and I was like, I don't want to give birth on my birthday. Like, I don't want to be in hospital on my birthday. I don't want to share the birthday with a baby. It was now the 13th, which was my due date. Put in another tablet for another 24 hours. Checked in 24 hours, same result. Nothing was happening. Me and Joe at this point were getting a bit frustrated. Joe's obviously like, he's just sleeping on the chair thing. I'm not really comfortable. Then after 24 hours, took it out and they said, okay, we're gonna put I think it was like a Cox balloon or something in. So it's another form of being induced, but this one is not medical. It's mechanical, I think. Yeah, to mechanically induce you. Guys, I'm not about to sit and explain everything. You guys can just Google it or whatever. They said this will probably work, because I was like, oh, is not the same thing not just gonna happen again? And they were like, no, because this is not medically, it's actually like physically like pulling, I think, the cervix down or something. And I was just like, okay, like this is it. Like after 24 hours, that's great. Like I'm gonna be in labor. 24 hours passed and guys, still nothing. I was getting on and off contractions, but they were not proper contractions. Keep in mind, I've been in labor twice in my life, and I know real contractions are fucking bad. You want to die, and I didn't want to die. I was just like like it was bad, like it was painful, but I could tolerate it. So yeah, I had those contractions, but then after that they just go completely and I'm fine again. And every time they examined me, they were like, you're still not dilated. Then fourth day, they're like, we're gonna break your waters. Oh no, this is what they said. They basically said, I think it was like 8 o'clock at night or something, or like nearly midnight. They said, we're probably, to be honest with you, gonna have to do a C-section in the morning, because obviously the baby's also getting bigger. He's just in your stomach and he's not budging, like he doesn't want to come out. We're probably gonna do C-section in the morning. So from now on until morning, do not eat or drink anything. So I didn't eat or drink anything that entire night. I was super thirsty, super hungry, but I couldn't. 7 o'clock, one of the nurses, she comes to examine me. She comes in and she examines me in the morning, and she basically says, you can get your waters broken. She was like, you can get your waters broken, so the C-section I don't think will be necessary, because you can get your waters broken, because she could fit like a finger in the cervix or something like that. And I was just like, okay, great. So that basically means that I was 1 centimeter dilated. So she was like, I'm gonna go back and get the stuff to break your waters. Me and Joe at this point was just like, finally, like I've been so frustrated. Comes back with stuff. She's literally just about to do it. And then this other woman that comes in that I've never seen before in my like 4 or 5 days of stay. Keep in mind that everyone that's been coming in and out, I've seen them because I've been here for days. I've never seen this woman. I think she was like this young kind of like Spanish woman. She comes in and she's just basically like to the woman that's doing my checks. She's a black nurse and the other one is a Spanish nurse. So the Spanish nurse comes in and she says to the black nurse, like, what are you doing? Like with such attitude. She was just like, what are you doing? Like, you can't break her waters. I'm just not happy with her waters being broken right now, because she's only 1 centimeter dilated. Like, just no, she can't, I'm sorry. And then I was just confused, and I was just like, I'm 1 centimeter dilated. I've been here for like 4 or 5 days. Like, why can't I get my waters broken? So am I just gonna be sitting here just waiting on a baby that's clearly not coming? Like, something needs to be done. She was like, I'm really sorry, like I know you've been waiting, but there's just not enough. She's like, there's not enough nurses to look after you if you actually do go into labor. I was just like, fucking what? She was like, there's just other people that came here before you, so you have to basically wait for them to give birth so that there's more nurses and midwives that are free to look after you. And I'm just like, first of all, that is not my problem. If you don't have enough midwives, you're not going to put my birth on pause when I'm at high risk, like you say, because my baby is too big. All of a sudden, because there's other people that need to give birth, like I'm at the bottom of your list. Keep in mind that she lied. I was there before everybody, because in that ward that I was in, which was the delivery suite, I believe, it's not where everyone gives birth, but it's literally where people are getting induced. I was there since, I think it was Tuesday, and everyone had been coming in and out. Literally, they'd just been there for like a few hours, a day max, and then they go give birth. I'm the one that was just stuck there because my baby didn't want to come out. So as I was there, it was literally just like 2 or 3 other women. They kept going in and out, so I literally saw all these new faces every day, and I'm just the only one that's just there, and nothing is happening for me. So I was 110% the first one there. Like, there's nobody else that you can say came before me. So she was basically like, yeah, you're gonna have to wait for somebody to give birth, and we don't know how long it's gonna take. It could take hours, it could take days. And I'm just like, this woman is seriously telling me that I need to put my birth on pause and let my baby grow bigger because I'm not that important, even though I should be priority because my baby's at high risk right now. When she said that, at this point, I've been patient those whole 5 days of the nurses coming and be like, you're still not dilated, blah blah blah, because I was like, it's not their fault. This point I was like, okay, now you're taking the piss. I wasn't being nice and patient anymore. I lost my shit, I'm not gonna lie to you. I said to her, like, so I'm basically just waiting on other people to give birth. I was like, that's ridiculous. I was like, I've been here before everybody else. Everyone has come and gone. I've been the only person that's just been left here. I said to her, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to sit around and wait any longer. If we're just going to wait on other people to give birth, then I'm just going to go home. You give me a call when you guys are ready, or when you have enough midwives to look after me. Got off the bed, started putting my shoes on, and she's like, well, this is not prison, so I can't hold you. And then she just walked out. I obviously started breaking down, because I was like, in the moment I was really upset, so I said I want to go home. And the fact that she didn't care that I was going home, even though you just literally induced me like 3 or 4 times, and it's dangerous for me to go home at this point, and she just didn't care. Then after she said that to me, she went to the other, I can hear her going to the other wards and the other ladies, and she was like, have you had breakfast, like blah blah blah, like speaking to my little babies, when she had just spoken to me like shit. I was just like, this is super unfair, like super unfair. This is literally neglect. And I was crying my eyes out in my ward. I was crying my eyes out, like the whole ward like heard me 100%. Like I was crying. I said to my partner, I was like, I can't do this, like they're gonna literally leave my baby to die. I was like, how is my baby gonna survive if they're not trying to get him out ASAP? They're the ones that said it's dangerous for him to be in there, blah blah blah. I was like, I can't be here. I was like, I need to get her number down, I need to report her, I need to sue this hospital, like this is not okay, I'm just being left here. I had to calm myself down. Joe told me like, you have to calm down, you can't go home, you have to stay here, there's nothing that you can do, literally. And he was right, she was the head of the whole midwife team or crew or whatever, so there was no one that I could even speak to at that point. So I stayed, and then finally this other midwife came, and she was basically like, oh, I've just come to examine you, etc. And I explained to her the situation. She was like, I don't know why she said that, because you are next on the priority list, like the board in the staff room, your name is at the top. So I was like, so why did she say to me that there's other people here before me? I don't know why she said it. I don't know if it was to hurt me, to upset me. I don't know if she's in a bad mood, her boyfriend broke up with her or cheated on her the night before, and she thought she's gonna take it out on me because I'm black. Who knows? This woman was just like, it's fine, like pay no mind, like you're next up, don't worry, like we're doing everything that we can. That obviously really reassured me, although I was still really like upset and shaken up about what happened previously. You're pregnant, your emotions are high, you've been here in no labor, just been induced, your body going through it, because guys, these inductions, they are really super flipping painful, okay? They're super painful. It's not nice. Every day, new hands going up your vagina, touching your cervix, doing this, doing that. I've got membrane sweep twice, I've got the balloon put up me, I've got the tablet put up me twice. Anyways, finally they were like, okay, yeah, we're going to move you into the actual suite that you'll be giving birth in, and we're going to go and break your waters. From then on, funny enough, every single midwife that dealt with me was black. Before that, they were all white, apart from that one midwife that came to check me. After that, they were all black. I was like, this is so weird. Like, all the midwives they're assigned to me are all black, but okay, whatever. So they broke my waters, and they said, you need to mobilize yourself. So you need to go walk around. You need to try to get this baby out. Me and Joe were walking around the hospital, went to get something to drink, was walking up and down stairs, etc, etc. Came back, I was getting contractions, still not strong enough. They checked me again, and they were basically like, you're 2 centimeters dilated, but the cervix is so high up. So I said, you know what, at this point, can I just have a C-section? Because this is ridiculous. They were like, now they changed their tune, and they were like, you know what, you've had 2 babies before, we think that you can actually do this. So we don't want to do the C-section. We're not happy with doing the C-section. So I was just like, okay, whatever. And they put the monitor on my belly, and the machine, it keeps an eye on the baby's heart rate. And his heart rate was dropping. So the woman, she came and she pressed the alarm, and midwives just flooded into my room. I was really shocked. I didn't know what was going on. For me, if there's a beeping on the machine and people are running into your room, you're thinking like, my baby's dying, or what's going on, like something's wrong. I was crying. I was like, what's going on? Like, someone tell me like what's going on. I couldn't see Joe anymore because there were so many midwives surrounded me. He was like right at the back, like they were blocking his view. They were like, I was so stressed out. They basically just said to me, it's fine, like his heart rate dropped, but we've got it back up now. I said, this is so dangerous. I was like, can I please have a C-section? My baby, clearly he can't stay in my stomach longer, like he's getting stressed out. They'd also put me on the hormonal drip, I think it was called. That was to jumpstart contractions also, but they said that can stress the baby out, which obviously it was because his heart rate was dropping. I'd beg these people now, because when I realised how serious it was and that my baby's health was at risk, I'd beg them to C-section me. I didn't want to do a C-section, but I was like, this is literally so that my child is not at risk and not in danger or anything. They were like, no, even though his heart rate had just dropped. I understand, like, it happens and stuff. Literally 2 minutes after that happened, all the midwives had left the room. Like, there was no one left to keep in mind, like, the heart rate just dropped, so somebody should be here to keep an eye on the machine, keep an eye on the baby's heart rate. They just all left. The heart rate monitor, it started beeping really slow. So normally it's like beep, 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 but it started going like beep, 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 and I was just like, something seems like off and wrong. And I said to Joe, like, does this seem normal to you? And he was just like, I have no clue, you're gonna have to ask the woman. I was like, I don't know, man, this is weird, because then the numbers was dropping. It was like 130 something, and then it dropped really low. It was like going to 70, 60, like it was going really low. And I was like, nah, something's not right. Go out quickly, rush and go get the midwife and ask if this is okay. So she comes back in, straight away presses the button. They all come flooding back in again. Before I know it, one of the midwives has a piece of paper in my hand with a pen, and she's like, how's about that C-section, babe? Literally, that's what she said. And I was just like, oh my God. I signed it super quick, and the rest was a blur. And I swear to God, I get so emotional talking about this, or even like thinking about it, because I'd given birth twice before and never have I experienced something like this. It's one thing having a C-section because it's all planned, you know what to expect, but it's another when it's an emergency C-section. And all I remember was lights in my face from the ceiling. Everything was blur, and all these faces in front of me, all these eyes looking at me, this piece of paper being shoved in my face, and my bed being, they were running down the hallway with me in the bed, wheeling my bed. I can see everyone panicking and running and saying, quick, quick. Like, guys, it was scary. If you could just take a moment to just imagine yourself in that situation. Someone's, like, the machine was beeping slowly. So for me, I was just like, there's no way that they're gonna cut me open in time to save my baby. And keep in mind that I'd made a video not long ago saying that I was scared of childbirth because of neglect. I said to you guys, I don't know if I mentioned scared of not making it, literally. So when this happened, it fed all the negativity that I had, all the doubts, all the horrible thoughts that I had, and I was just like, wow, like, I was actually right. I was like, one of us, if not both, are not gonna make it. And thank you God that that was not the case. Thank you God. But in that moment, I was just like, one of us isn't gonna make it. It's to the point where I didn't want to scare Joe, but I almost wanted to say to him, like, if this just goes south, like, let the boys know every single day, like, how much I loved them. Like, I 100% was like, I'm not making this. Or like, the baby is 100% like, he's not making it. I wanted to say it to him, but at the same time, I didn't want to scare him. I wanted him, he was being strong for both of us, and I didn't want to make him as panicky as me, because then if he's going to panic, then I've got no hope, I've got no chance. He was so positive. He was like, nothing's going to happen, like, you're going to get through this, you're going to deliver our baby boy, he's going to be beautiful and healthy, you're going to be healthy. But I was still scared. And I remember when they finally got me into surgery, I was shaking, I was freezing cold, I had the chills from being so scared. I wanted to physically vomit. And it's the first time I'd seen like a theatre room where people have operations and whatever. And I remember as soon as they wheeled me in, they pushed me onto another bed. Like, everything was so quick, like everything had to be done quick. They had to do epidural in my back, it was, or like spinal something in my back, super quick. There was no time for me to be like, okay, wait, like, because I'm scared of needles. There's no time for me to be like, okay, wait, let me prepare myself. It was like, now, like, your baby's life is at risk, like, you need to do it now. So I'm scared, but I have no time to process what's going on around me. Then I see Joe walk in, because I didn't see him at first, and they had told me that he can come in. When I didn't see him, I freaked out. I was like, where's Joe? Like, where's my partner? I was crying for him. I was like, where is he? And then I saw him coming after. He had like the whole surgeon uniform with the hat and the mouth mask, and it made me feel better knowing that he was there. Like, these people can't fuck up, they can't mistreat me, they can't not try hard enough, because he's keeping an eye on me, he's watching that everything is gonna go smoothly. So I felt at ease and I felt at peace that he was there. They done the spinal thing and they put like a sheet in front of me so I don't see what's going on, and I was super scared. I remember I was grabbing onto Joe's hand and I was like, talk to me about something, and we started talking about how to get away with murder, and he was saying like, tell me your theory on what you think is going to happen in the next season. And it took my mind off it. I didn't realise that the whole time I was just, whilst I was being cut open, I was just there talking about, oh yeah, I think that this is going to happen, I think this is going to happen to Frank and Wes and blah blah blah, and we were just talking and I was squeezing the life out of his hand whilst it was happening. You don't feel any pain, you just feel a lot of pulling and tugging, and yeah, you don't feel any pain whatsoever. And then literally like 5 minutes after, 10 minutes max, I heard a baby crying, and all the nurses and midwives from behind the sheet, they were all like, congratulations, congratulations. And oh, you don't understand how good it felt to hear my babies cry, because for me my biggest nightmare was to give birth and there's no crying, and I'm like, what's going on, like why is he not crying? To hear him crying, it was really amazing, it really was. But it was sad because I couldn't see him. There was a sheet in front and I just said to Joe like, go like check on him. Done the same thing with Enzo, because they had to rush him, not to like another room but just on the other side because he swallowed poo. I had to be like, go check on him, like check if he's got 5 fingers, check if he's got 5 toes. I've done the same with this baby, and he went round the back to see the baby, and I was just laying there, didn't get to see him or hold him, and they had to like stitch everything up. That took another, I think, 30 to 40 minutes. But anyway, they finally brought him round to me. I couldn't carry him because I was laying down on the bed and there was a sheet literally like that. I just had to look at him. It was really hard because I wasn't used to it. I was used to my baby being put on me straight away, skin to skin contact, but this baby, he wasn't allowed. That was really hard for me, but it made me feel better knowing that his dad was there, to know that he's not just with nurses and he doesn't have like his parents with him. Like he has that comfort at least of like his dad is there. After I was all stitched up, I couldn't feel my legs or anything because of the whole spinal thing. I couldn't feel myself like at all. They had to put like a catheter up for me to go toilet because I didn't even feel when I was weeing. I couldn't even tense a single muscle in my lower body. It was really bad. But they put the baby on my chest, they laid him on me, and because I didn't know what he looked like at first. I literally had to say to Joe like, can you go take a picture of the baby and show it to me? And so yeah, that's how I saw what he first looked like, was through a picture on Joe's iPhone. Hadn't seen him, hadn't held him, hadn't smelt him, literally nothing. I was just looking at him through a fucking iPhone picture, literally just being told like, yeah, this is your child, like this is your son. But finally I got to hold him, and I never wanted to let him go, honestly. He was crying so much because he was hungry, and it was stressing me out because they were taking ages to bring us back to the room. I couldn't breastfeed because I was laying flat, and obviously to breastfeed I need to be sitting more up so that he doesn't choke on the milk. Like you can't breastfeed him laying flat, and I could not get up. I just had a C-section. So I couldn't breastfeed him. The only thing I could do was bottle feed, and I had to wait ages for them to bring us back. I was stressing out. Yeah, finally I fed him and everything. Joe had to go back home. They said that, you know, you should be able to go home literally tomorrow, which I was really shocked about because I could not move and I was in so much pain. That first night was amazing with my baby, just knowing that he's here, like he's alive, he's healthy, he's actually able to stay in the room with me, which means there's no problems with him. He didn't have to go to like NICU or NC, whatever you call it. I was just like, thank you, Lord. Honestly, like I went from literally thinking something bad was going to happen to everything being absolutely fine. Obviously C-section is not something that I wanted to happen, but had I gone through with the vaginal delivery, God forbid, that could have gone a complete different way. I don't even want to think about it because the point is that it didn't happen, so whatever. No more negative thinking because everything is like fine now. But yeah, the day after, I honestly recovered so quickly from the C-section. Everyone was like, don't have a C-section, you're literally gonna be paralyzed, like he won't be able to move and blah blah blah. Guys, I was up and in trousers, like in my actual clothes, the day after I just had a C-section. As in, I was walking around and I was absolutely fine. Obviously it was, let me not say I was absolutely fine, I was in so much pain. I couldn't just get up. I had to maneuver myself. So it took about 5 minutes to get out of bed. The way that you have to roll on your side, then you have to grab onto something to pull yourself, like, it was so difficult. And in that night, whilst the baby was crying, it was the midwife that had to come and change his nappy. It was the midwife that had to come feed him because I couldn't do anything for him. But I was released, I gave birth on the 16th of August. My birthday's on the 18th. I was released on the 17th. They were actually going to keep me in, but I was crying and I was like, I don't want to be here by myself in the hospital on the 18th. Like, no one's even allowed to come visit me. I've had a traumatic week in this hospital. Like, I just want to be home. I haven't seen my kids in a week. Like, I need to be home. And the lady, she was so lovely. She discharged me. She stayed behind on her shift to discharge me. I got discharged at like 9 p.m. Yeah, and I went home, and the day after I was up, I was cleaning, I was cooking, everyone was like, you need to take it easy. Like, Joe was like, you need to lay down, like, I'm gonna do it. But I just wanted to feel like I can do this. Like, I've been through it all, but I can actually get up and do this. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. I'm back in jeans. You can't see properly, but I'm legit back in jeans. Belly's gone, thank God. Still a little bit of chub there, but let's be real, I was always chubby. I hope that you guys enjoyed my little story time on what happened. And like I said before, I hope you're all doing well. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll be back with another video. I've been really lazy. I've been trying to film this for the past 4 days, by the way. But yeah, I'm gonna try really hard to be consistent, but if I'm not able to as much as I would like to, bear with me and understand that I have just had a baby and I do have 2 other kids, and yeah, it's a bit long right now. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and before you continue, then don't forget to leave this video a big thumbs up and share, like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on my next video. Bye guys.